This guy went in and shot up a school. What's your solution? Hey, all of you that didn't go in and shoot up a school, hand over your guns, because that's going to deter this guy. And I'm looking at this going, wait a second, guns have been around in massive quantities in the United States for hundreds of years. It used to be that during hunting season, boys would show up with their shotguns in the truck on school so they could immediately get out to the fields as soon as school was over. Yet we didn't have this problem. Why are school shootings like this a recent phenomenon in American history? Gun ownership is not a recent phenomenon. Schools are not a recent phenomenon. So why is it different now? I think there's two things you have to look at. One is, how do you address the immediate problem? Well, I don't think you address the immediate problem by telling a bunch of people that did nothing wrong that they have to give up essential civil liberties. I think you address it by having more security in the places which have become vulnerable targets. And this is the part that they really don't want to talk about. How do we get to a point where there is such a disregard for human life that somebody believes that a perfectly legitimate way to express their frustration with the world is to shoot the most innocent within our society?
Second Amendment Institute files lawsuit against DC's assault weapons ban. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And you like channel, like content, and what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything's appreciated. Connecticut residents, make sure your training for your permit is on par with the state. If you already have your permit, watch the expiration date. Don't let it expire. There's a link to the online renewal portal for permits in the description box. Keep an eye on that. Let's talk about this. And this is a continuation of multiple lawsuits against states and districts' assault weapons ban. And the Second Amendment Institute has filed suit on behalf of one of their citizens against DC's assault weapons ban. Now, of course, the language is going to be exactly the same as every other challenge, just as the language for every assault weapons ban is exactly the same, because they cookie cutter and they are totally in cahoots with each other to push these things through. But let me bring you into here. SAI files lawsuit against DC's assault weapons ban. Okay, I'm going to come down to right here. Second Amendment Institute recently filed a lawsuit against the District of Columbia challenging their prohibition on one of America's most commonly held arms. The case, Yazagwiri and the District of Columbia, was filed in the District Court of the District of Columbia on June 25, 2024. The complaint seeks to enjoin the district from enforcing its total and complete prohibition on a substantial set of semi-automatic firearms, a common and popular category of arms. The complaint observed that Sotomayor's dissent in Garland versus Cargill acknowledged that semi-automatic rifles like the AR-15 are commonly available. Mr. Zaguiri previously sought to register an AR-15 that he purchased as a Delaware resident to keep in his home for self-defense. A release stated, the Metropolitan Police Department denied his registration application, citing the district's ban on so-called assault weapons under district law. A person cannot possess a firearm unless it's registered. I'm not sure if he purchased this prior and then moved into the district, or if he bought it and then tried to register it. That's not being made clear here, but Mr. Yazagiri said his involvement in the case underscores the critical nature of this case in defending the fundamental rights of American citizens to own modern, effective firearms for personal defense and other lawful purposes such as target shooting, competitive sports, hunting, so forth and so forth. But I'm going to come down to here. Quote, we filed this lawsuit to vindicate the right of the residents of district to own commonly possessed firearms for their self-protection. The district ban on so-called assault weapons prevents district residents from owning the most widely held rifle in the nation's history. That simply cannot stand under the Second Amendment, said Attorney George Lyon. Such bans like DC's infringe upon the constitutional liberties guaranteed to all Americans under the Second Amendment and directly contravenes decisions of the United States Supreme Court, including the 2008 Heller decision. Moreover, the Supreme Court says such bans must be based on history and tradition. The Heller decision said there is no history or tradition in banning firearms in common use. There are more than 24 million AR-15s and similar rifles owned by Americans. They are undoubtedly in common use and thus cannot be prohibited. So let me go ahead and come out of that. So we have another case going to go up the pipe that is going to challenge another assault weapons ban in the District of DC. Now, of course, the powers that be in DC will gaslight and say that this will save lives, as I pointed out in another story I did very recently concerning Illinois' assault weapons ban, where they claim that the assault weapons ban is saving lives, where Chicago had 19 people killed and 55 injured over the July 4th 3-4-day holiday. So DC is in the same predicament because, once again, they're not addressing the actual problem. This is the same district of DC who tried to pass a law stating that they were going to lessen the criminal penalties. And I mean, like, I'm talking about serious violent crime. They were going to lessen the penalties for those violent crimes. And the Senate of the United States had to step in and pass a legislation to prevent them from doing it, because they won't address the damn problem. Instead, they just say we need to just have bans on items, where the bans only affect those who will follow the law. So I hope Mr. Zaguirre, I hope I'm saying his name right, actually get some traction here. And this is just hopefully another lawsuit in a long line of lawsuits going against assault weapons ban that will make its way up the pipe. I'm just waiting for the day when the Supreme Court actually hears one of them, because that's going to set the tone and a precedent for everyone that's coming up behind it. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence, or statements that lead to violence, will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.